Okay, I'm back and ready to be murdered, see a murder, be eaten by vegetables. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm scared. You go to bed wishing you had more. You have a strange dream that's definitely not foreshadowing. Something is riding on your back. And it's becoming a nuisance. You try to see it in the mirror, but you can't get a good look at it. It's like that episode of Doctor Who with Donna during the good times. You try almost everything, but it won't get off. The pain between your shoulder blades is getting worse by the minute. Wander away from the cabin, stumbling by a river to soak your pain in cool water. You didn't want things to come to this, but you've exhausted all other options. Swim out to the middle. Rocks on the bottom cut your feet. You slip and fall to your knees. You lean back, trying to submerge the thing underneath the waters. But it won't drown. It won't drown. It won't drown. You splash frantically, plunging your head beneath the water. The current takes you downstream. You try swimming to the shore, but it's no use. Water fills your mouth and nostrils. After a minute, you stop struggling against the current. As you gaze up at the sky, you feel it leaving your back, drifting into the sky as you sink to the bottom. As you take your last gasp, you can see what was on your back staring into your eyes. But you don't even have air in your lungs to scream. You wake in a cold sweat. Ugh. I don't like it. I will say this has been more effective horror for me than when I played like Doki Doki. Like, I think that game was good, but it was more just kind of like shocking. Where this is giving me a lot more of the thriller anxiety. Wake up! Sorry, you're making strange noises in your sleep. What's going on, Gregor? Did the lightning wake you up? It woke me up. Tried to fall back asleep, but it's so loud. Fucking none of this would be me. I sleep so fucking heavy throughout, like, storms and shit. I've been through one earthquake, and I either slept through it or I thought it was a hard gust of wind, but I think I slept through it because my friend who was also in the house was like, I was almost thrown out of bed, which I don't know if I believe, but you know. Let's get back to sleep and talk about this in the morning. Everyone nods in agreement and gets back to bed. I wonder what weird fucking sounds I was making in my sleep. Oh, I was gonna joke. I was like, are we getting some honk shoes? But we're not. You still have goosebumps from the nightmare. That thing's definitely living in the fucking basement. Karen's snoring is louder than a sawmill. You find it very loud and very distracting. She needs one of those breathe right strips. Or fucking like a full, like, CPAP machine. She's not breathing well in her sleep, is what I'm saying. You don't sleep a wink. Everyone is now up and awake in the cabin. You hear the front door open and quickly slam shut. Anatoly sounds petrified. Uh-oh. Something's in the cabin. I looked out the door and we're completely surrounded by floodwaters. Looks like Sailor's Take Warning was more appropriate for today. Haha, yeah. We're all gonna die here. Maybe it'll clear up tomorrow? You can't steal Big Guy's optimism, Karen. Why the hell not? That's all he has going for him. Heck, he's also good at chopping wood, though. Fucking something else with wood. Jokes. Knock it off, you two. Mariah, do you think it'll clear up tomorrow? Why would Mariah know? I give it a 27% chance of it clearing up tomorrow. She's fucking like the Weather Channel and Harvest Moon. Based on what? I was bored stiff, so I read a book on local precipitation levels for the last 20 years in the living room. Sounds like you're stealing Anatoly's thunder. Anatoly, you're a book nerd, right? Why don't you read it? Ick. Couldn't make it past the cover. Is that right? Yes. That bookshelf has some great books on artisan crafting and natural sciences, and some bad books on horror, apparently. Why let them sit there gathering dust? How did you arrive at a 27% chance of it clearing up tomorrow? It's easy. Take the time of year, multiply it by a factor of... Mariah begins to explain meteorology to you. Meteorology. She isn't dumbing any of this down. It's similar to... where... So the first thing you need to understand, minutes of explanation feel like hours. You look over at Anatoly. He's listening intently to Mariah. So intently, he hasn't blinked yet. I don't like that. I don't trust a single fucking person in this goddamn house. His eyes are drying up and a tear rolls down one of his cheeks. This is brutal to watch. Mariah finally wraps up her lecture. She ends with a bow. Nobody claps. Please clap. Tough crowd. Mariah, that was awe-inspiring. You lost me a few minutes in, but that's okay. I didn't understand a word of it. Haha. Geh. Anatoly turns to you. Anyway, there's no telling how long this will last. Wait, okay, fuck you. She's just like, I did all the fucking science. This is my prediction, and you're just like, there's no way to know, actually. Fucking not believing in her, not believing in our girl. We can't leave the cabin until these floodwaters stop. I know our food situation is a little tight, but I know you'll make the right decisions. I believe in you. Me too. Mariah's fucking like one like bad meal away from making this a Donner Party situation. Looks like we have enough leftover berries for more bread and raspberry jam. I'll pass on the jam, just give me more crusty bread. Everyone laughs. Except for you. Everyone's stranded in the cabin. You need to keep everyone fed and happy. Sneak out to the kitchen while everyone's still talking. What kind of unholy ritual are we going to do with the chompets? With the kitchen to yourself, you decide to check on the chompets. They're just like rotted in the fucking drawer. Don't worry, as leader of the chompets, I'll make sure none of the humans know about us. That big guy would try eating me like an apple, so I definitely wouldn't tell him about us. Hahaha. Are you planning on going awry? I love that voice clip. Got another cornbread classic for you. Did you hear about the bread maker's bakery burning down? No. Her business is now toast. Ha ha ha. That one's been toned to death. Do you know how raspberry and milk were introduced? You tell her now. Raspberry milkshake? You let out an utter groan. Did cornbread teach you that one? Where is cornbread and why is it in the basement? I don't trust the basement. I don't trust potato. I don't trust any of these fuckers, but I think cornbread is waiting to kill me. It's well worth the time and effort, Raspberry. Maybe you'll win the annual Chompet Comedy Competition this year. Of course. Not while I'm here. Also, I love that they fucking talk like Pokemon. That being said, I hate bread sound is a Pokemon sound, because every once in a while you get a Pokemon that just goes "Rawr." But I hate it. Isn't that every year, bread? Still talk about that closing line, bread. You're going to do great things this year. How old are they? Anyways, don't even think of eating us if you're hungry. Jump it, stick together through thick and thin, and we'll knife a bitch. Raspberry! Rain or shine. Feast and famine. Potato, I swear to God, repeat the line or we're locking you up again. Life or death. That's right. Okay, so Potato, I think you need to unionize. Autobots, roll out. Hey, that's the second time they've fucking done that. But also, are you guys only eating one meal a day? Because this is not going to, Karen, I swear to God. There's mold on these last two slices of bread. Karen is right. The hell's the matter with you? Grip the knife tightly in your hand and begin plunging it into Karen's heart. You think this is enough for 5 of us? Fucking... It's all we have left. Gregor's right. And Tony, will mold spores give us food poisoning? I am no scientist. Sorry. Okay, so like picking off mold, I'm pretty sure is not what you want to be doing. But I guess if you gotta, you're probably fine. But honestly, I don't know. Again, I'm also no scientist. Vern grimly nods, ripping apart their piece like a pack of wolves. Cricker seems to unhinge his jaw and eat it in one bite. He looks like a duck eating bread. Thanks again. Bread and jam isn't much of a meal, but it's more than we had when we left Ukraine. What? Plenty of rainwater outside, so at least we won't die of dehydration. Also, weirdly topical Ukraine conversation. But until the storm's over, nobody should leave the cabin. Should clear up if we just give it a chance. Anatoly, where are you getting this information from? One of the books on the bookshelf about climate here? You're illiterate, so that's definitely a lie. Is he illiterate? I've seen him reading. Little guy's been studying. I'm serious, he pretends to read those books because he wants us to think he's smart, but I can tell he's just staring at the page, faking it. What do you think? So, do I think Anatoly can read? Honestly, before the scene I would have said yes. After the scene, I don't think so. Am I going to ever say Karen is right? No, I'm not. You must be going blind then. Yeah, thanks. I don't know why Karen would make up something like that about me. You aren't fooling anyone, Anatoly. Karen stormed off. If we're eating anyone, we're eating her. Right, guys? Right? I'm looking at you all. Thanks for backing me up. But normally, I like the kind of like strong, hot-headed-ish woman in stuff, but Karen's just being a dick for absolutely no reason unprovoked, and I'm not here for it. Good to have someone so positive around. Anatoly looks relieved. You think he'll remember that. Let's all call it a day. Yeah. Sure. Everyone shuffles off to their sleeping areas. 10 minutes later. Hey, Karen likes to find someone's weakness and use it against them when she's frustrated. Or just always. Just wanted to thank you for backing me up earlier. You're very sweet to do that, but I can't read. Okay, I have a hot take. Anatoly can't read, but that squirrel can. And that squirrel just tells him what's what. Heh. See you tomorrow. Anatoly looks like he's blushing as he's walking away. Honestly, he keeps blushing, and I'm kinda starting to think he just has a fever from digging around in mystery mushrooms. You're definitely sure Anatoly will remember that? Did I just get 2 hearts from one fucking choice? Hell yeah.